All right, guys, this can only mean one thing. Things are getting serious. Bob is about to go under the knife, or more importantly, the Sawzall blade. This is the beginning of the changes for the winter time. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but at the same time, I really hate tearing apart a car that runs. It always seems to be that you get into your upgrades for the winter time and you get too far into it, and then you end up missing racing in the spring. At least that's how it's been for me in years past. So I think that I'm really going to try to stick to these upgrades and keep it minimalist, because I don't think that we have really seen what Bob can do. So I think with getting him sealed up head gasket wise, good grief, that phone's beeping. Getting him sealed up head gasket wise is going to be a definite improvement in performance. That's the big thing, and obviously that's what we're after. The other part of that is the reduction in weight, and I briefly touched on it in the previous video, but we're going to take the doors off the car. We're going to remove the crash bars out of the doors. There are various bits and pieces throughout the car that we're going to take off. Things like we're going to remove one transmission cooler because it has two with a fan. We're going to remove the fan. We're going to remove the extra transmission cooler. We're going to put the transmission cooler in the front so the lines are considerably shorter. The methanol tank is probably going to go in the front, so therefore the lines for that will be shorter, and so on and so forth. So Chris always gives me a hard time when we talk about this stuff, because I always say, well, that don't weigh much, and he says ounces equal pounds, and he's right. That really is what we're after. So we're going to pay a little more attention to weight this time around, so let us get started. All right, I got all the turbo kit and all the extra wires and hoses and all that junk out of the way, and I think I'm ready to cut the front of the car off. That is, I don't know. I have mixed emotions about that. I like the street car factory feel to it, but it's time to move forward and make the race program a little better, and I think this is probably the first step in it, so we might as well get started. I think we can call that a success. Well, at least as far as cutting parts off the car are concerned. All right, so we got that piece cut off, and now it's going to start making a little more sense on what is going to happen. So I'll turn the camera around and kind of show you what I have in mind here. All right, so coming out of here, that bar is going to run all the way back to the cage. There'll be a hole in here that connects to this bar that you can see through the windshield. So it's going to go down to here. It's going to drop down about a 45 degree and connect right here. There's going to be a short bar that welds from here, sticks out to about here. And that bar will have a flange on it, so that the front tubular piece that the radiator sits on and everything attaches to will be removable. So we can, well, I guess when the time comes to work on the car, which seems to be a lot lately, we can take the radiator out of the car, take the front end off the car, and the engine and stuff comes out. It's really easy to work on at that point, which, if you remember from my earlier videos, that's the name of the game as far as I'm concerned, is how easy the car is to work on and how quick you can service it between rounds and, you know, all that jazz. So now there's going to be some cleanup on these 4 places that we cut, and straightening up the edges and all that stuff, and getting it ready to get these bars bent. All right, well, I'm probably going to regret this to some extent, but I have to at least take the computer out, because we're going to be welding on the car quite a bit. And the other part of that is that that bar comes in right through here. It's going to attach right around this area. And obviously we don't want the computer near all the heat from the welding and the welding in general. You know, we don't want it around that. So, and we don't want to burn the wires up. So I guess I'm going to clip some of these zip ties out of the way and take the computer out, and hopefully we can get the wires far enough out of the way where we don't have to take them out of the car, because that is going to be a task. So I guess first and foremost, let's get some of these zip ties out of the way, because I tend to go a little zip tie happy here. And man, there's a lot to do here. I think I might ought to get my phone and take pictures of this before I take it apart. I think that sounds like a good idea. All right. So the battery's already disconnected. I don't need to take that loose. I got this, that thing went flying. I got this USB cable for the Holly zip tied or strain relief out of the way, because they're kind of fragile and it sounds like a lot of people break these things yanking on them. So got that thing tied up out of the way. I'll scoot that back. If you haven't already, you should go buy stock in zip ties, because I'm probably the #1 abuser of zip ties. And you stand to get rich with as many of them as I use. Just, you know, in case you were wondering. That one back. That one back. All right, we'll come back to this. All right, so we got all that stuff moved out of the way, and I'll show you what it looks like now. I think you can see pretty good. That bar comes in from here, right about here, and comes straight down through here. So all the wires and stuff should be far enough out of the way where it's not going to be a problem. And then over there, there aren't any wires or anything. I think there's, the only thing laying there is this one, and that's the GPS wire for the dash, so that's easy enough to get out of the way. No big deal there. So now the car's probably going to sit for a week or so, because we're waiting for the Christmas holidays, and then I'll load this thing up, take it over to Chris's place, and we're going to bend the bars and do that stuff over there. So for the meantime, God, I can't even talk. We'll probably get to work on the truck and actually some of the machinery over in the other side of the garage that's been inoperable for some extended period of time, just because you get into, you know, project / car mode, and everything else kind of takes the back burner. So next couple of, God, I still can't talk. Next couple of videos are probably going to be truck and machines and getting the garage completely workable, since, like I said, I moved into the house and went straight into race car mode and pretty much ignored all the other stuff just to get the car running. All right, guys, so as you can see behind me, I think you can see it, Bob is pretty much ready for his new upgrades, you know, as far as the front end and stuff is concerned. So like I said a minute ago in the previous clip, we're going to probably sit him off to the side for the next week or so while I work on the truck, get the truck ready, not ready, but further along. I'd like to drive that thing in the springtime if I don't end up selling it. It's possible that I'm going to sell it, but just kind of got to play it by ear and see how that goes. And hopefully get the CNC machines operable this winter. I don't really have any plans for anything to be made, but you know, it'd be nice to have that ability. Actually, you know what? I do have something that I need it for. The plenum, the upper for the Holley high ram intake, which is sitting over here behind the camera. I'm gonna make something for that. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but we're gonna do something. We'll see. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks everybody for stopping by. It was kind of uneventful and not a whole lot of action in it, but you get a little insight of what Bob looks like right now, and that's about the end of it. So if you haven't, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.